All righty. Nick Moyle, please go ahead with Timmy, please.
Yeah, Timmy. I mean, obviously nowadays, pretty much everybody, shoots threes, works on their threes. You have kind of gone in the other direction. You're all about the mid range. I'm curious, what is it about you, I guess, that maybe made you take a different path in terms of becoming an offensive player? And I guess when did you really first start developing that, kind of back to the basket, mid range, turnaround, fall away game?
Um, it's a hard question. I feel like, to be honest, when I was like really young, I was always bigger, so I was just like a big man. You know how kids just kind of fall into that role, and so that's kind of what started the back to the basket. I've always just kind of had that in my game. But as scoring goes in my game specifically, I just do what feels natural. I just feel like those I get to my spots. I can get to my spots. As far as shooting threes, I just don't feel as if you don't ever want to just settle. And like I believe I'm a good shooter, but I don't think people can stop me from getting to my spots either. So I'm just trying to read the game and take the game as it comes. Obviously I'm gonna take a three if it's open. I'm in rhythm, but I'm just trying to get to my spots and read the game. And if I don't got the ball, the shot, I'm always gonna get it to a teammate. So I know I got that in my back pocket. So that's really my focus. I'm not worried about proving nothing to nobody because I know exactly who I am. And I think being so secure in myself also gives me a power that some other guys don't have. So that's kind of what I look at.
Yeah, and I know obviously, you're pretty comfortable from pretty much everywhere in the mid range, but is there one specific spot that you feel is really your money spot where if you're pulling up from there, if you're hitting the turnaround, you're gonna be wet pretty much every time?
Um, Big 12s, elbows, and fading baseline. All three of those spots really.
Thomas Jones, go ahead, please, sir.
Good morning or good afternoon. Hey, Timmy, you mentioned how comfortable you are, and you have some veteran guys on this team. Jabari, Brock, Marcus. How does that help you? Like, if you do fall behind early in a game, that you guys have kind of been there, done that.
Yeah, we just got the ultimate trust. We had a group of guys who have been there before. A number of us have over 100 games just being played. And you can ever underestimate the value of experience, especially at the time of the year like this, when games are possession games and you really got to grind out possession by possession, knowing detailed scouting report, what we're trying to do. We just have no rattle, no shake. All confidence, all trust in each other and our coaching staff. We go in each game with a plan on what we're trying to do and execute offensively and defensively, and we just try to stick to that. If we get a little away from it early, we always got time to reset, rebalance, and attack. So with guys like Brock and Jabari and Marcus on the floor, like there's no rattle. Whenever we get that lineup on the floor, we feel very confident. And if we're ever down or if we can get it to 3 or 2 possessions, we feel like we're winning the game. So we're always confident, no rattle, no shake. Always bend, don't break. That's kind of our mindset.
Joe Cook, go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah, Timmy, last time against Baylor, you drew the Keontae George assignment. Took him 18 shots to get 17 points. You'll probably be guarding him a lot. What makes him a really good scorer, and what do you have to emphasize when you have a matchup like that?
Yeah, Keontae, great player. Love competing against him. Obviously, the ultimate scorer, ultimate player, has a ceiling as high as anybody. But I love the matchup. Excuse me, I love the assignment. I really just try to hone in on the details of the scout report, what we're trying to do with his tendencies and where he likes to get his specific shots off from. And just try to not let him get any clean looks. He's a guy, every shot he shoots, you think is going in. If you see him shooting warm-ups, every shot he shoots is on top of the rim. He's not missing left or right. He's got something when it comes to that. So with him, you just gotta try to make it hard. He's gonna hit something. He's a good player. So just try to hone in on details, tendencies, and live the right way. See how it goes.
Roger Wallace, go ahead, please, sir.
Hey, Timmy, when you announced you want to come back, you talked about the unfinished business. I mean, a week to go, you're right there where you wanted to be, and you hit a big bump in the road in December with what happened to Coach. How satisfying has this run been for you guys with all you've had to endure?
If you could tell me I'd be in this position at the beginning of the season, I'd take it every time, 10 out of 10 times. with everything that's happened this year, everything's still right in front of us. And it's unfortunate for us players and our coaching staff to some of the light has been taken away from us with all the things that have happened and the way we grind and the way we're embedded in the process of every day and just trying to get better. It's unfortunate that some of the attention has been taken away from our greatness and what we've been able to do together. And I just want to give a ton of credit to our teammates and our coaching staff on being locked in. It's really an everyday process here. We're not worried about tomorrow. We're trying to win the day. We try to have a great practice this morning. That's what we did. We're gonna try to put another one to get through together tomorrow. So that's really what it is. And I want to give a lot of praise to our coaching staff on having us ready and my teammates. Everyone's been exceptional. We're just trying to keep going.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Tyrese talked about after the game. We can see it on your face. You guys seem to play with a lot of joy out there. How important is that in all of this when you think about probably your last go around in the burnt orange?
Yeah, man, it's fun. You gotta enjoy it, man. We ain't got no pressure. We ain't having any pressure all year. We're just playing for one another. We're playing with a goal. We're playing with a plan. We all have the same goal. We all have the same mindset, and we know how we're trying to get it done. That's for defense. That's what hanging our hat on defense, and we believe everything after that will fall. So we got the ultimate confidence, and when we play for one another, and we play with that joy, man, it's fun to watch, and I know everybody feels it. So that's definitely something we try to do. So it's fun playing with these guys.
Corey Bose, go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah, what's up, Timmy? So I know you just kind of talked about not getting that shine that you feel like this team deserves. And so do you think like putting that work in the dark has brought this team closer?
For sure. You know, when it comes to that, Candace Parker said something one time that stuck with me, talking about how time will tell your story. And I think that's something that's happening with this team. As the season goes on, the season progresses, we just keep coming more and more together. And I think it's a beautiful thing to watch. I mean, like when Terrio came in against Iowa State last game and he started getting jiggy and Tyrese was getting busy and D Mitch is back there with energy, man. I mean, we're flowing. And guys on the bench, I'm on the bench, me and Barry on the bench going crazy for them. So I think time will tell the story, man. And just being so connected and just knowing that we have each other's back, I think it's brought us closer, and it's really won us games down the stretch here. So that's definitely something we locked in on.
That's dope. And the last question I just want to ask you, I've been meaning to ask you this for a couple of weeks now, but been watching you play and some big shots you hit. But one thing I've noticed after you hit some big shots, you do this thing where you stick your tongue out. Where does that come from? Is that like a celebration you thought of, or where does that stem from?
I actually don't know. It's a great question. I actually don't know. I've never been one of those guys. I just kind of started that actually, but it's been funny. And now when I do something, like CB will stick his tongue out, and now I have to do it. So it's kind of like an ongoing thing. But that was completely unplanned. You know, I'm the hype guy. I'm the pointer, the flexor. I don't know where that came from. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm right with it.
Yeah, I think it's dope.
Terry Middleton, good luck following that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Timmy Allen, so Tyrese Hunter talks about Texas is going to hang their hat on defense. And so for all the points that we scored, you held Iowa State to 54 points, their second lowest scoring game of the season. Can you talk about how do you guys communicate? How do you guys prepare to not only have a great offense, but a amazing defense? And what do you guys do in practice to prepare for that?
It's a good question. A lot of practice is focused on defensive assignments, rotations, tendencies, the plan. Offense is just a lot of trust. Obviously, we do some offensive stuff in practice, but more of it is just moving the ball, popping it, and feeling the reads and rotation which apply to the game, because every game is different. So basically, we'll get instructed how they're going to guard us, and we just play free. And that's kind of how it looks on the court too. We're not running a bunch of sets or running a bunch of plays. We're just kind of playing and reading and reacting. So practices, we get very prepared. I mean, our scouting reports, our attention to detail, our video, our film, we know everything they do, every tendency assignment. We got that down. And then offense is flowing in trust, and we just combine them two. But we know that if we hang our head on the defensive end, the shots are going to flow, because when we're locking up, we're running. and they can't guard mismatches in transition with the guys we got on this team, with scoring abilities, passing abilities, multiple guys being able to do multiple things. So we just know if we hang our hat on defense, the rest will take care of itself, and we just got to trust and believe that.
Well, let me follow up to try to beat Corey on his question. So are you going to stay with your current hairstyle, or are you going to go back to Rose?
It's looking like this will be the look for Saturday.
All right.
Great question, Terry.
Nick Moyle, go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah, Timmy, I know back when Jabari was kind of looking at places to transfer, your brother kind of put you guys in touch, and you were kind of maybe the point person for Jabari a little bit. I'm curious, I guess, how has your relationship developed with him now that you guys have played together, you've been together for a long time? How has he sort of grown as a teammate and as a talker, and what's he like in practice? I'm real curious about that.
In practice, he's great, man. He's just a guy you want to be around. I mean, he can be like a comic relief. He could be a intense, get on guys, get going type of guy. He's a motivator. He's a leader. Our relationship has grown so much over this period of time. It's been so fun. And he talks to me about it in the sense of nobody has played with both of us. And we are two very similar, very different people. So it's just been fun. And the fun part about it really is that my brother was down here for a couple months training and just working out and just being around me, because we've had a lot of missed time in our life, just being separated. And Teddy was here, and I'm here, and Jabari's here. And now we're all hanging out for a good month and a half. And it was just really cool, man. I'm a person who values stuff like that, family, brothers, camaraderie. And that was really sentimental to me in that aspect, that I got to spend time with both of them. And we got to like see both sides of the relationship. None of us miss a beat. We never skip a beat. So it's been great, man. I'm so thankful and appreciative to be in this position, especially with the guys that got around me.
Thanks, Tim.
Cliff Thornton, go ahead, please, sir.
Hey there, Timmy. One question about Baylor. First time you guys played them, they didn't have Langston Love, and since then they've gotten him back, and now they've added Jonathan Chama back. How is the challenge different with those two guys back now in their lineup as far as going against them?
Yeah, both impact, strong players. I mean, the big guy down low does a lot for them, and we know that. Unfortunately, his injury happened against us last year, and we got a lot of love and respect for him in that aspect. He's a great player, and he demands some attention, so we got to be locked in on the details on that. And Langston Love, strong, aggressive guard, likes to shoot, likes to get downhill, and he can do a lot of things. So we just got to be locked in, but it's no different than anybody else. Detail, assignment, tendencies, just honing on the matchup. Try to win your matchup one-on-ones. So that's really our focus with them. No different than anybody else. Two great impact guys. Just got to be locked in.
Have time for two last ones in the queue. Bob Ballou, go ahead, please, sir.
Timmy, Cliff only asked you that question because he wanted to say Jonathan Chama. That's the only reason he asked that question. What's the maturity level of this team? How do you compartmentalize this stretch? You know where you are in the season. You know what's coming up, Big 12 tournament and CAA tournament. How do you compartmentalize just Baylor and also the bigger picture of we're still obviously right there in the Big 12 hunt, chance to do something big that this school hadn't done in a long time?
Man, you just lock in on the process, day to day, minute to minute, try to win the day. We know what we have ahead of us, but we know what we have ahead of us in Baylor. We know we have to go through them. We know that they're a great team, and we know that this is a part and a step in the direction we're trying to go. So that's our focus. Our focus was to get up and have a great day of practice, come in with high energy, high talk, touching each other, and have a good practice. And that tomorrow it'll be the same thing. We're not worried about anything in front of us except Baylor. And I'm not going to trick you or say I'm worried about anything other than them, because I'm not. Because I'm trying to win this game so I can win the next game. So Baylor is a priority, and we know what they're capable of. So that's really it. Just locking on the detail day to day. We're not worried about what's in front of us.
And then when you see plus 29, plus 25, plus 23 for Christian and Jabari and Brock, I mean, what does that tell you about what that bench has been able to do for you guys this year?
It's deep. When you got to lock in on other guys and just the main couple, I mean, it's dangerous. Like for me, like I'm playing off Marcus, like, and he's playing off me, and Bari's playing off, and I'm playing off Bari, and Bari's playing off me, and then CB come in, and he get cooking on the block, and then Double D hit a three, and then it's like, where do you go? Which direction? You can't focus on all of it. So we know their impact that they have. We know we need Bari to come off the bench and do what he does. And Brock has been second to none. I don't think anybody has given him enough props either, because I don't think anybody expected him to be able to do what he's doing at that level. And he's a baller. So, yeah, it's love though. It's fun. It's fun playing with guys who come off the bench and get busy. Like, why would you not want that? Because I'm not out there thirsty. I want them to come in and get busy. That's when it really get fun, if I'm being for real.
Joe Cook, last ones, please.
Timmy, I think the game last year in Waco, I remember, I think that was the one where y'all, after losing that one, coach brought the 5 starters out and made y'all face us after that game. What did you and some of the other guys who are back this year take away from that moment where coach kind of made it a moment y'all had to own in a big game?
You got to grow up. That's kind of what I think about when I think about that moment. I kind of forgot about that. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Looking in the mirror, when I think about last year and this year, I think about 2 completely different situations, personally and as a whole. Humbling yourself, knowing what you need to get better at, and just a moment of realization that you're not where you think, whether you're not where you're supposed to be or where you want to be. And I think that, like, I said this to Brock the other day. This year doesn't happen without last year. None of this greatness happens without last year's struggle. And last year was a struggle. As good as we played in some moments, like, we were all grinding to get better, and now we're here. So I'm thankful, and I'm not naive to the fact that that was necessary to get here. But in that moment, it's a moment of being humble enough to look yourself in the mirror and getting better, and we've done that. And we're not trying to have that feeling again. That's for sure.
All righty. Thanks, Saul. Timmy, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Timmy. Thanks, Scott.
Timmy, thanks, Scott.